Mapperton has been hit by a mega storm. There is more rain than I can ever remember here. And of course, storms means floods, it means leaks. We've already found our first leak in the main house, but just as important is to go out and see what's happening to all of the watercourses, all the rivers and the streams here, and in particular to go and check on the beaver enclosure to see what damage has been done. But it's absolutely pouring down. I'm getting soaked already. Ben has kindly offered to take me in the mule. We're going to go out, we're going to see what's been happening with the storm walloping this country estate. If you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel, now is the moment to do that. We really look forward to bringing you along on this journey with us. Right, off to go see Ben. Ben, you got your waterproofs on?
Waterproofs on, yeah.
Today, huge storm hitting Mapperton. I mean, literally more water than I've seen here, I think, ever before. I can see it flooding across the roads, down across the fields. What's been the impact in your neck of the woods?
A lot, really.
A lot.
Yeah, it's like you say, I've never seen rain here like it. Experiencing a lot of flooding down the beaver enclosure, which is always fun when you got to.
Well, the beaver enclosure, of course, when we have flooding, it brings things down the stream, which bashes into all of the grills and the fencing.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that we're going to have to go and clear out some stuff, aren't we? We've got a bit of manual labour coming. Yeah, this is, it's biblical, isn't it, really? That's the only word. Let's get in the mule and head off. Right, this is the field in front of the house, known as Park Field, but today it's turned into Park Lake. Look at this. I'm going to see how deep it gets. The ducks and the seagulls should be enjoying this. It's a proper wetland. I mean, this is all part of Mapperton Wildlands, and we've been wanting to do some wetland creation. We haven't really had to do anything here, have we?
Not yet, no.
Wow. It's getting quite deep. Could go for a swim. I'd say it's like almost up to the top of my boots now. Great, let's go on. We want to go check out the gallops, see what's happening up here. This is a serious amount of water, and it's water that is coming off Mapperton land, heading down to the River Brit below. Ben, have you ever seen this much here?
No, I've never seen this happen before, no.
This is an insane amount of water, and it's just coming off a couple of fields here, so it's not as though this is all the water from all of the estate. This is just a couple of fields.
Yeah.
But there's one bit of good news, which is that this water is quite clear, and this is one of the benefits of the rewilding project. This field at this time of year would normally have stubble in it, and this would be muddy water. It would be full of runoff, taking all kinds of lovely nutrients from the soil down into the stream. But you can see that today it's not muddy, it's clear, and that's exactly what we're looking for. That is a gushing river,
gushing of water, yeah.
Isn't it? We're used at Mapperton to having really quite calm, sedate streams that, oh my goodness,
yeah,
look at this. The whole bank is falling away as we're speaking,
yeah.
Over here. That's just extraordinary. So this is a river called the Mangerton. We're right up at the headwaters of the Mangerton here, which means that we're high up, we're where the river starts. And this river goes all the way down to Bridport, where it meets up and joins what's called the Brit. So this is the Brit catchment. What's this like in the summer? Ben?
It's lovely in the summer.
It's a trickle.
It's a trickle, yeah, if that.
It's absolutely a trickle.
Yeah, absolute trickle. And now when you come into winter months and it just sort of gets like this, it's yeah.
Do you know what I want to do? I suddenly had a thought. I've never seen it like this before. I mean, this is a proper river. What I want to do is blow up a tube and go sit in it and head all the way down. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll come down at the bottom and pick you up, but I'll probably have to drive down to Bridport.
Pick up what's left of me.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, whilst this is quite good news for the water supply at Mapperton, it's not necessarily very good news for the beaver enclosure, is it, Ben?
It's not, no.
What are you expecting?
A lot of devastation, a lot of build-up. The water will probably be very high against the grill. It'll be nearly sort of going over that bridge as well. So yeah, I never really look forward to going down when it's a rainy day like today and looking at the grill.
So this isn't a good moment. At least you've got a companion.
Yeah, I've got someone else.
I can help sort of lift some stuff, and we might even be able to rope in Chris as well. We can actually see erosion in process. Do you see the mud? It's actually trickling down. This whole part of the bank has come away with the power of the water, and you can see that it's quite soon it's going to push out that bit too. You can see that's all fresh and it's come out today because it hasn't got any leaves on it. And this is why we have these valleys, because over the millennia, over millions of years, the water has just carved its way into the landscape. This is Birch Hill Pond. It's a famous pond on Mapperton Live because I once took Julie for a picnic on the island and not everything went according to plan. But at least at that point we could get to the island, whereas you can see now with the huge amount of water that's come in here, it's a proper lake. I think this is a perfect spot for some cold water swimming. So when we get back, we shall tell Julie that there is now a lake she can have a dip in and see what she says. I expect she's not going to be that enthusiastic. We've just noticed something quite interesting here, which is that these trees are Leylandii, and they were put in by my grandfather probably 60 years ago, maybe more. And they're obviously not indigenous to West Dorset. And they give a really good example of the problems that you get when you put in conifer and you put it in too densely, and it just completely destroys any opportunity for vegetation in the understory. I mean, Ben, what can you see of ecological value going on under these trees?
Not a huge amount. The only thing that we are seeing is a lot of just traffic from deer. So
deer.
So
the deer like it.
You can see all the lighter bits underneath. That's where the deer have been cleaning off their antlers, ready for the rut this year. So they're using
they've been preparing for the rut. That's quite interesting, isn't it? You can see the bark has come off.
Yeah, they've sort of stripped all the bark.
And I imagine also if you're a deer and you want to escape somewhere somewhat sheltered in this storm, it's not a bad place.
Wouldn't be the bad place.
But as far as vegetation goes underneath, it's a desert. I can already tell that this is not a happy man, because as soon as we get out of the car, or the mule, we can hear the change in the noise of the water, which means only one thing. Ben, what does it mean?
Grill's blocked.
It means it's blocked. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because
That's quite serious what's happened there, isn't it? It's broken it. That is quite serious. Okay, so it looks as though the force of the water has actually broken the grill, which for us is quite serious because obviously the grill is there to keep the beavers in. And if we don't have a grill, there's a chance that the beavers are not in. Right, this is where we've been having problems with the enclosure, because when we get a lot of rain like this, it brings down rocks, branches, logs, and it smashes into the grill and the fencing. And Ben, what I can see is that there's a bit of the fencing there that has kind of come up. What's happening here?
Yeah, so that just due to the amount of pressure and the force of the water and all the debris that's built up, it builds up, it piles up, and then it creates too much force on the grill, and then the grill and the skirt is just separated, and it's just the wire's just pinged off away from it.
So that has created a hole big enough for a beaver to escape. So I think we're going to have to do some really careful monitoring of our cameras to see whether any of them have got out. That is a hole.
Yeah.
If you're a beaver, you can definitely get out through there.
Yeah, easily. But you can see where the force has been. So it's obviously come away as well, and that's
there's a hole here as well.
So
if they climb up,
and then you can also see where the bank is sort of eroded. You can see the mesh and everything that we actually dug a metre deep in the ground when we built the enclosure. You see that as well.
So this is all the bank has just come out.
Come out as well.
Right, what have we got to clear?
So literally just I'd roll your sleeves up and just we'll start clearing out some debris.
What we're really trying to do is take the pressure off the grill here. Yeah, that water is flowing much better now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So these just get stuck.
So you can hear the rocks just bashing into it while we're clearing it out.
Yeah. So as you clear them, other ones
just keep on piling up against it.
The water's not too cold, is it? That's a good one.
I think it's
cold?
very cold.
Maybe my hand's already numb. Look at that.
It's one of those things when it's weather like this. There's not a huge amount you can do really. You have to just keep on doing this, but. Unless you spend all day down here.
Sounds like we'll be back in the morning.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
We've done a deer survey of the estate. It's really important for us to work out how many deer we have across the whole estate in terms of the density. Because if you have too many deer, then you won't have natural regeneration of trees and shrubs. And the reason for that is that the deer eat them. One of the things that we've got to do here at Mapperton for Mapperton Wildlands is to keep our deer population down so that the density is low enough so that hopefully we can have trees naturally regenerating.
Yeah.
And Ben, tell me what happened this week.
So we had the thermal imaging drone this week that came over, and that's got a thermal imaging camera on it, so it can fly all the way up. It can scan around with the thermal imaging, and then what it can do is switch the camera setting so it's like a daytime camera. It then can zoom in, and then we can see what species it is. So we can tell if it's a fallow buck or fallow doe, seeker stag, muntjac roe, all sorts. So yeah, it's really clever bit of kit. So it gives us a real good idea of population, what we've got here, because the problem is when you go out stalking and you go around and you have a look, you might see the odd one or two, but when they're sort of tucked up in thick vegetation, you can't actually see through it as well.
What was so fascinating though is the numbers of deer.
It's given us a good idea of the population, so now we can go on our cull and sort of work out what our numbers are that we can cull and what we need to do to try and get these numbers under control.
One of the key numbers coming out of this was that we've got a density of over 30 deer per square kilometre. Look at this tree. This is an enormous poplar. I can't get my arms around it, and the beavers have really been going for it. Look at all this chip. over here.
Yeah.
It's not going to live, this tree, is it?
No, not now, unfortunately. But yeah, they've been doing this ever since they've started this ever since they came, and then they're slowly progressing, getting more into it now. So
going round and
going
round.
round and round. So hopefully, it'll be another year and it'll be down. Hopefully.
What's interesting about this tree is the angle of it, because when it comes, it'll almost certainly go that way.
Oh yeah.
And you have to wonder what's going on in the mind of the beaver. Are they thinking, I really want to build a dam over there, let's get the tree to fall that direction and then we can build up around it. This pond is not really a pond anymore.
No.
Because the weight of all the water today has brought down the beaver dam on the far side.
Yeah.
So the whole pond has drained away, and all you're left with are the kind of canals that go round in the middle. I mean, this used to be completely covered in water.
It's just very frustrating. It's just no other word really.
Well, there is no other way, is it?
But that's nature, though, isn't it? That's
yeah.
It's sort of
they build it.
They build it and they have to come back and rebuild, won't they?
And then they have to come back and rebuild. Oh well, I'm happy it's them, not me. Yeah. Ben, am I right? There's another bit of damage further down, further up rather.
It's I mean, I've been very unlucky this year with beavers and weather, but the ash tree that's fallen slap in the middle of one of the gates, and it sort of crushed it to.
What, the gate on which side?
Yeah, the gate, the far left-hand side, all the way at the top, the big 10-foot gate.
And destroyed, or?
Just completely crumpled.
Right. So we've got the potential for beavers to be escaping out the gate that way.
Yeah.
Beavers to be escaping out the bottom.
Yeah.
Clearly there's a significant risk that our beavers have got out. Of course, if they do get out, then there's every chance they'll become stars of the national news, as they were this time last year. Do you remember?
I do. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't forget.
I think they were starstruck and missing the publicity.
Yeah,
that's why they've gone off. Right, Woody, Twiggy, we're coming for you. Ben and I have come to a location not too far from Mapperton, and we're downstream, and we're here for a particular reason, Ben, aren't we? Because we've had a lot of people saying, what's happened to the beavers? And that has been the million-dollar question. Yeah. What has happened to the beavers?
Yeah, so they're both out again. And
they've escaped.
So we know that.
We know where they're not.
We know where they're not. But yeah, we found a little area where there's been some activity. So we've got a trap, and we're just sort of trying to get everything familiarised with a trap again. So we're sort of baiting it and feeding it into this trap. So hopefully it's not set. So we're just getting it used to everything first.
So we've no idea whether what we think is a beaver here is a Mapperton beaver. It could have come from other wild populations. There are other wild populations not so far away. We won't know until we trap it and until we're able to scan the microchip that it has, and that will tell us for sure. But we're definitely feeling like there's a chance.
There's a chance, yeah. It's just as it's just one. That's the concern.
It's just one beaver. We want both Woody and Twiggy.
Like last time, this time last year, we had both of them.
We had both of them together.
They were together. So this time it's just the one. This is typical. So this is just another track. So you can see where it's been using this track. So it's been sliding in and out of water.
This is a beaver water slide.
Got a bit of feeding all the way down there.
And having a lovely little slide down. Wow, look at this. Let's have a look.
Just on the willow there as well. So.
These are some definite indicators. I mean, that is not a squirrel.
No, you can definitely tell. Obviously, typical angle as well, and then you've got all the chips. It's not fresh. It's a couple of days old.
If this was a crime scene, this is a fairly clear indication. Yeah. We could be taking DNA swabs, couldn't we?
We could be. It's a bit like that. It's a bit like CSI, isn't it?
It is a bit like CSI. Yeah. This is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, very busy.
Very busy.
Very
right.
busy round this part. It's
Yeah.
just off from the stream. There's a nice little bank, very
Yeah.
silty.
Look at that.
So yeah, so that's
This looks fresher.
and then we've got the trap just behind us there, which I haven't taken any of the bait of, unfortunately.
I'm noticing two things. One, we've got some camera traps and
Yeah.
some cameras,
Yeah.
so we can check to see if there's any activity.
Yeah.
And two, Ben has produced a wonderful feast within the trap here. And if you
Obviously,
were,
it didn't want to be that
if
tempting.
you were a vaguely hungry beaver, you would just be going. What is that? Mashed carrot? And
no, there's
swede
just some cut up apple and
Apple.
some sweet
Oh
corn.
my goodness,
just try
apple and sweet corn. What
Yeah.
yeah, so you were slightly hoping we'd come here and that there would
Yeah,
be some
so-
evidence that one of them had gone for the food, but the food is untouched.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've almost set the trap up. I just haven't put the trap doors down.
Yeah.
And then what I've done is with that sort of tippy plate in the middle, left that level, put all the bait on it, and you can tell if something's been resting on it because it will move.
Yeah, but it
so
hasn't.
It hasn't moved, so,
So
nothing's
So
been
our
there.
plan is, it's not working so far, is it? Any sort of obvious beaver prints anywhere?
So here we've got more of
Oh
another
yes.
pathway as well. So another
Yeah,
slide into it.
Yeah, that's a decent one, isn't
Doesn't look active from last night.
it? So are we doing anything to the trap, or are we simply going to let it be and
We'll just
give
let
it a
it
bit more
be
time?
because we only just moved it yesterday. If the bait was gone, I would have put more bait in it today.
Yeah.
But we'll just let
that would
it
have
be.
given us confidence.
Yeah, a
wouldn't it?
bit more confidence. But as we only just moved it yesterday, there might still be a bit of our scent on there still.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So we want to let's get our scent
yeah,
out
we'll
the way.
get our scent out of the way.
Yeah,
and then
because we're smelly things, us
we can-
humans, aren't we?
we can check the trail cameras and just see.
Let's check the camera traps. Now this one is pointing at the trees.
Yeah. The good thing is we did put a pile of carrots over there. So if the carrots are gone,
Where are the carrots?
they were there. They were there yesterday. So
You
there's some carrots that have gone on this one. But
Right.
obviously they haven't been into the trap.
That is fantastic news.
Hopefully, it could be many things because we have seen a lot of roe deer as well.
Oh, right.
I don't see any roe deer
rabbits.
tracks or rabbits.
Okay,
There we
so
go.
here we go. Right,
It's
come
just a
on,
little
beaver.
blackbird.
It's rather dark.
There we go. You can just see the outline, just there. You can see the eye
Yeah,
flash up on the eye. There you
that
go. That is
is a beaver
a beaver.
eating our carrots.
Let's see what
So that's
else we've
quite good
got.
news, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's positive that they're
They're here, they're
they're
feeding.
at this point
It's
here.
not very far from the carrots to the trap.
There we go. That's a better one. It's kind of close to the camera.
Oh yes, look at him.
Yeah.
Oh, that does look like Woody, don't you think? Let us know
Hard
if you think
to tell.
if you think that
Hard
looks
to
like
tell.
Woody.
It's
It is hard to tell.
it is hard to
but
tell.
it's a big
I
beaver.
would have said it was the female.
You think it might be Twiggy?
By the size of it,
Okay.
I would have said it was a female.
She's right there.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The thing is, if we knew it was Twiggy, we would have seen that little cut or that little scar that he's got on his tail when he came to us.
Right.
He had that little notch
You
in his
mean
tail.
Woody?
Woody, Twiggy.
Yeah,
I always
Woody,
get them
Twiggy.
mixed
Yeah,
up.
well, wood, twig, kind of related. Here's my bit of cunning advice.
Go for it.
Okay. They don't like the apple and sweet corn mix.
Yeah.
They do like carrots.
Mm.
Maybe replace that one with carrots.
Yeah.
It's just a thought.
It's worth it. It's just as we're running out of carrots.
We can go and get some carrots.
But yeah, no, you can
Okay.
you can see on this one very close.
Yeah.
All last night.
That's Twiggy. I
But-
think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we really want to see that second beaver.
Yeah.
If we see
Together.
two,
We'd be delighted, wouldn't we?
happy days.
Yeah.
But
Right. Okay. Off to the supermarket to get some carrots, I think.
that's it.
Yeah. Let's go. We are here today back at Holacre, where Woody and Twiggy have been living a fantastic life until they decided that they wanted to leave us, which was a great shock. But the reason they were able to leave us is because we've had these huge storms through the season, and the storm water has come down, it's brought logs, it's brought rocks, and it's bashed into the grill at the bottom of the stream, creating holes, and alas, they have got out. So the question is, what are we going to do about this in the future? And I'm here today, luckily, with Mike Tilley. Mike helps the estate enormously in all sorts of ways, particularly with the woodlands, but also with some of the groundwork stuff. And Mike, you've got a bit of experience with water and drainage. Is that fair to say?
Yes, we've been doing a bit with retention ponds and trying to slow down the flow of water, with woody dams and things like that, just to try and dissipate the energy of water.
Yeah,
so
and do you think that's kind of what we need to do here?
It's definitely what we need to do here, because we had a video from the last storm which showed the immense power of the water. It just came from overnight. So if we can slow that water down, then we slow down the damage.
And what are the options for doing that, do you think?
Well, we could try and build a retention pond further up. To take the force out of the water with an overflow.
So a retention pond, just so I get this right, is you have a big storm, there's a lot of water that comes down, and that pond holds that water from becoming a torrent further downstream.
Yeah.
That's the point, it kind of retains it.
And also it possibly takes the energy out of the water as well. You'll still get a central flow from the mainstream, but if the overflow can go into a retention pond, then you can take the energy and then the destructive power of the water. So that's one
option.
Idea.
One option is the retention pond, and option two?
Well, we've had several thoughts of perhaps slowing down with large lumps of wood further up to make more of a zigzag in the valley,
the stream,
to try and take the energy out that way. One of the issues with trying to do that, if you put large logs in, if the flow becomes too great, it takes the large logs down, they start to turn over and they will cause an immense amount of damage.
Right.
So we have to choose the best.
Really what we needed was for Woody and Twiggy to build an enormous dam further up and create their own retention pond, but alas, they didn't do that for us.
Which is what they would do.
That's what they're supposed to do.
But we had exceptionally high rainfall last winter.
It's these last few months. Right, let's go and have a look at a couple of these options. This was a pond. This was where Woody and Twiggy were released, and they were able to dive down. It was actually quite deep. But what happened was that in one of the storms, the level of the water got so high that the pressure on the banks caused the whole thing to burst, and the whole pond went down the valley. Something that we want to try and avoid in the future. So Mike, what's the thinking here? What could we do to turn this back into a retention pond?
Well, we've got quite a lot of material here already. So we've got the trees that have fallen over, and dead wood and some live wood. We could actually make a structure out of that and try and perhaps slow down this flow. If we are going to make this into a retention pond, that we slow down the flow by trying to form a zigzag and take the energy out. What we're going to have to be careful of is not disappearing out of sight with any machinery in here, and also not creating a problem by going down.
By disappearing out of sight, you mean sinking in your digger?
Sinking in here. So we need to keep the machine up, and we'll probably need some of this wood to keep the machine up to do anything, because it's exceptionally soft in there, and we don't want to make it worse.
Would we divert the water here so that it was predominantly coming into the pond rather than going around that way? What do you think?
I think we still need to keep that there. I mean, we can do it the other way. We can have the water going in through here to fill the pond all the time, and then that could be the overflow through that channel. Looking at this, and that we could block that off and make that like a weir system there. So when the water comes up 1 metre or 2 metres high, it then overflows and runs down through and through the other one. And keep this for the lower flow in the summer, so you're getting fresh water coming in all the time.
And what about the drainage at the other end? Would you still be putting in a culvert at the bottom?
I think we need to put in a culvert just to make it so we've got something to build the grill against.
All of this was was covered. This was a pond before.
Yes, that's right.
So do you mean that we would aim? I mean, I think for the beavers to come back, they need a pond. They need a place of safety that they can swim into. So would we be getting the levels back up again, or are you envisaging that it's just a stream?
No, we'd still have the levels up, but we'd create something under the water,
right,
to take the energy out.
Right. Okay.
So that when the water comes in, perhaps it takes the energy out of the water.
Right.
And then it flows over, a bit like a beaver builds its own dam.
Yeah. There is a thing called a beaver deceiver. Have you heard of that? A beaver deceiver is a pipe that is used to go into a beaver dam to keep the water levels down.
Yes.
So that the beaver doesn't constantly keep building the dam up.
Yeah.
It actually. Yeah.
The things with footballs and similar things I've seen.
But are you imagining a pipework then running along the bottom?
No, we'd have to do something here to make this fairly strong here, but not a pipework, just allow the water to come in as it would and follow the flow. But just try and, because actually looking down there at the bottom, there is actually the start of something like a woody dam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which would slow the flow down.
Yeah.
And then the water would build up, because we've got quite a fall on this pond.
Yeah. And would we potentially combine that with creating some more dams further upstream to just again slow the flow? We're trying to take the energy out. You've got one up there, haven't you already?
Looking at the ones up where we felled the trees or they've fallen over, really they want cutting up now and dropping down in, don't they?
Dropping in to create some more barriers.
More barriers.
Yeah.
We don't need to bring other wood in. There's enough there, but even just a few cuts with the chainsaw, we could drop that down in there.
If only the beavers had been clever enough to do this on our behalf, because that is what they were supposed to be doing, building dams. But they haven't done enough of it here for Mapperton, and in fact, the fact that they haven't done it has led to their escape. Maybe that was their plan all along. All right, let's go have a look down at where we want to put the culvert in and see what that would look like. This is the business end of the enclosure. This is where the water streams down. We've now got this plan to create a retention pond, which will hold some of it back. But obviously the water is still going to come, and it's still going to come up against the grill where we've had all the problems. So I understand, Mike, that you got a plan now for doing this in a slightly different way.
Well, we were going to try and, when the flow reaches here, we were going to try and slow it down as much as we could by perhaps putting some of these bigger logs in up there to try and dissipate the flow. We were going to put in a tube then, 600mm pipe in there, and a new grid to make it stronger, because all the force of the water before was just taken by the grill and a bit of fencing and a couple of strainer posts. So we need to make that a more secure outfall from the pond or the water. So
600mm, something like that, made of, what would that be made of?
That'd be twin wall plastic pipe. So you're looking 600 like that. And you could put two in there, so you could have a lower one to take the normal flow and the secondary one for your overflow.
And where would we reposition the grill that's now buried down under all of that?
Well, the idea is that we're still going to have the grill on this side.
This side of the pipes?
Yeah, because otherwise any debris going down through, well, you could have the grill the other side, but you still need a form of grill this side, otherwise the pipe will block up with that debris that's down there and get crisscrossed in the pipe and block the pipe. So we're going to stop the debris from going in there. But what we could do is to make something else perhaps up here that's accessible to take out the large lumps. Obviously not during the high storm flow, but just on a day-to-day basis, you keep it clean.
Yeah. Before it gets to the grill.
Before it gets to there. And ideally you won't see it, because by the time the grid's in there and we've built the head wall up to it with either stone or wood, you may see on the outfall, but it will soon disappear into the
I'm getting more
countryside.
More sold on the black plastic pipe.
Definitely black.
Disappearing into the countryside. All right, Mike, excellent. Well, I think we've got a plan. I'm down in Holacre Wood, which is where we have the beaver enclosure. Alas, as people may know, there are no beavers here because they escaped in the last floods that we had. The floods broke the grill that stops the beavers getting out through the stream. So we've been doing a lot of work to bolster that, to build it up, to make sure that that doesn't happen again. because we will be getting some new beavers back soon. So I wanted to go and have a look at this, but what's really interesting is that we've also come up with a plan to try and repair the beaver pond, because the pond broke its banks. The beavers were so successful with their dam, the water came so high, the whole thing collapsed with all the pressure and went down the stream. So tomorrow we've got a team of people coming here to repair that, and once we've got that done and we're happy with the enforced grill at the bottom, we can bring back the beavers. So previously we just had this wire mesh coming straight down to this this grill, and the grill was the thing that took all the weight of the water from the stream. But when we had a big storm, there was so much that was rushing down here that it actually broke the mesh, and it all piled up, the rocks, the bits of wood, etc. So you can see what they've done here. We've planted essentially all these pieces of timber. This is alder, and alder, amazingly, can regrow just from the log like that. So we might actually have trees coming out of those logs, but what it's doing is it's reinforcing the back so that the grill pushes against that, not against the fence itself. Tomorrow we're gonna tidy this up a bit. We're gonna add a little bit more support, and then you've got these two gates here, and the idea with the gates is that by having them in a V shape, anything big that comes down the stream will get pushed to one side rather than going up against the grill. So this is the cunning plan to make sure that we don't have the same problem as before with this getting overloaded and then breaking and the beavers getting out. So that's the first part of the work. Quite a lot of this has been done. We've got a bit more to happen tomorrow, but the main job tomorrow is in the pond. This is an occupational hazard. In the woods, we've got a tree that's come down, and it's another way that typically the beavers will escape, because the tree comes down over the fence, the beavers hop on it, and it provides a nice little escape route. Fortunately, there are no beavers here to escape, so again, I think we're going to be chopping this up tomorrow and using the material. In the meantime, there is still a little way through under here. So this is the beaver pond, except it doesn't look much like a pond anymore. It used to be full, and you can see that what's left is the stream coming down here and going down the middle, but it's not filling up, and the reason it's not filling up is because at the far end there is a big breach in the dam. And we don't think that the beavers on their own are going to be able to fix that because of the lack of strength in the bank. So the plan is to bolster that tomorrow with some timbers and really build it up so that this pond starts filling. And in any event, when we bring new beavers back here, we want there to be a pond because they need somewhere just to be able to escape to and swim in to give them a sense of home. Right, let's see if we can wind our way through. You can see that all these trees that have come down, these were all felled by the beavers. Chris, I don't know if you can see, but this is the little beaver lodge that we built probably 2 years ago now, and I don't think the beavers ever used it, but it's certainly now quite disguised, and it's still looking pretty cozy. So, so maybe the new ones will come back. This doesn't really look much like a pond at all, does it? So you can see the stream just coming through. The pond level used to be sort of up to here. So you've got the bank running along here, but as we jump over and try and get through, I think we'll discover that the bank is missing a little bit further up. Watch out for the nettles. It's a real obstacle course, but it is doable. That was nearly my foot gone. Right, I don't know if you can see, But just in here is the old beaver dam. You can see all the branches and sticks that they used to create it, but it's completely collapsed and it's washed a chunk of the bank away with it. So this is where we've got to do the work tomorrow. The stream exits that way. The moment that's blocked up, hopefully we're going to start to have a pond again. And the plan is obviously to chop a lot of these fallen trees and then reuse them so that they become part of the dam, the man-made dam. I mean, it's a shame that we can't leave this to the beavers, but if they come here, I'm not convinced that they'll be able to create the dam quickly enough to create the pond that they need. So we're going to give them a helping hand. Now, over here, in this very marshy, swampy area, is where we think they had their lodge. So I'm going to walk very carefully because it looks rather treacherous each side. And I'm going to see if I can see anything inside here. Chris, I don't know whether to invite you for this section. It's yeah, look at this. Whoa, right, it's rather beautiful. Oh look, I've been rewarded with a rather fine looking blackberry. Delicious. In fact, Chris, there's another one, so I'll save it for you. Apparently the lodge was in here somewhere, but I can't see any evidence of that at all. So I'm not sure that I believe it. We think it was somewhere in there. Oh my goodness, I'm sinking. Chris, might need a hand. Oh God! Oh God! I'm really going down. Okay, I'm still holding this raspberry for you. Up, there we go. There you go, Chris. Look at that, all to give you a raspberry. It's not a raspberry, it's a blackberry, obviously. Right, did you eat it? Any good?
Very nice.
Very nice, yeah. Right, I think we've got to go back the way we came, I'm afraid, because this way is treacherous, and I've no idea what this pipe is doing. Right, I'm here back down in the stream, bottom of Whole Acre, with Mike Tilley, who helps with many, many things here at Mapperton. And Mike, you've got a plan for the pond.
We've changed our plan slightly. So what we're trying to do now, partly because we've had an awful lot of wet weather, difficult to get the machines in, etc. So we're doing it now basically by hand. So this is the entry into the pond that we're trying to repair. So as you can see, there's still water running into that, which we'll probably try and cut down that flow in a minute. We've been working on the hole where the water had burst its way through. The chaps have been there trying to fill that up with wood, timber to block in the hole. We're going to put sandbags in front to try and block that up as well, which eventually the silt will form up against and block the hole. And also we're then after that going to put a roll of chestnut paling fencing along to create like a barrier to try and spread the flow of the water. We've discovered in there this morning that there's an awful lot of water actually in the ground coming up. So
what water, when you say coming up, do you mean it's just water that's stagnant in the pond, or water that's coming out from underneath, like a spring?
Yes, it seems to be water coming out of the banks around probably, and coming out of the silt, because over the last week we had an awful lot of rain, which actually proved, with the work we've done before upstream of making these woody dams, we reduced the flow down, and I think we have a video of the flow going through there on Saturday was a lot less than it has been in the past, just by restricting the flow.
And Mike, looking up that way, you've been doing the job of the beavers by felling timber and really putting it into the stream, which is what would be happening normally anyway. And the idea with that again is to slow the flow, but also I guess stop stuff piling
debris.
down.
It's to stop
going
debris.
down.
Because if you don't get the wood packed across tightly, then the timber will come down through and cartwheel and then take out things that you've tried to build. So the idea here, perhaps we'll try and fill this in a bit in a minute to restrict the flow. The lads down there, what they're doing now is going to start filling sandbags, and then we'll build this wall by hand really to try and retain the water in the pond. We've also noticed that possibly one thing we have to do is there's an overflow pipe in the pond, which you may want to look at in a minute.
Yeah, I saw that at the far end. Is that an overflow pipe?
Yeah, we think it's an overflow pipe. It looks like one, but it's actually higher than it should be.
Right.
So we'll probably cut that off at some point. And we've also got a piece of pipe we can put in.
Yeah. Do you think it needs unblocking as well, or
we'll
have a look at that?
Yeah, we've got a piece of pipe.
That will maintain the level, won't it, of the pond. Fantastic. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't I have a go at stopping this flow?
Yep. You can have a go with that.
And then we can go, look at the bank and the sandbags and see all the other things.
And it's now starting to rain.
It sure is. Right. Better get going. We've got the water coming down and it's splitting between the two. And in order to make it easier for the work in the pond, we're going to try and dam it up here, which I think right, I'm not going to stop it completely, but that is, I think, quite a bit better. And then we can, once we've done more of the work down there, we can release it back in this way. So, right, let's go see what's happening. You can see this looks quite different already because they've been clearing the trees that have fallen across, and you've got the bank on the left hand side, and we're putting in upright posts, timbers across, and then sandbags to really beef it up, and this should make all the difference. I mean, if Woody and Twiggy come back, they might be sorry to see that one of their trees has been cut. But overall, this is going to be a much better habitat for beavers. There's a queue for the sandbags now. Proper engineering going on here. So we think the at that Y, you make one side higher, so the water initially comes into here, and then as you have a big flow event, lots of rain, it will come over the side and spill over.
Go down that way.
That is,
Hopefully.
I wouldn't have thought of that. This was one of the beaver dams built by Woody and Twiggy, and it's pretty impressive. We have, however, added quite a lot to it, because what we're now trying to do is make sure that when there's a storm, and as you know at Mapperton there are always storms, there's lots of ways to block big boulders and bits of wood from coming down. So that's what this is doing, and it seemed to work. The other night we had much less of a flow going down because the water backs up because the dam is here. We're doing the same thing here, so we've been putting all these timbers and creating a second dam. Now, when the beavers come back, it would be a really good thing if they plug the holes in this one, because you can see we could then create a whole other pond here which would hold back water as well. That would be really, really helpful. All of this trying to stop the flow that keeps breaking our grill at the bottom. Anyway, the chaps are doing brilliantly. We've got sandbags going in. Obviously sandbags used the world over to stop flooding. Here they're bolstering the bank, and in addition they're now using wire to hold those stakes in to make the thing really, really solid. And then at a later point we can then release more water back into the pond, and I think it'll fill in no time. Feeling as though that the mud, I mean it did come right up to this one. Chris, of course, went almost the whole way in. Chris, I got to take the camera because yeah, look at that. And you think you need to get changed?
I'm going home.
You're going home. I've come back to the beaver enclosure and brought my spade in case we need to do any extra work. But really the hope is that the work yesterday will result in water going into the pond and that the pond level will have risen. So I'm really hoping that's what we're going to see. You can see that we've actually managed to stop the water coming through here. This was where all the water was flowing before and heading down, which is why the pond wasn't filling. So that's absolutely brilliant. We've got all these sandbags blocking the hole, and there's also no water coming around that way. It's all coming this way, so it's all going into the pond, and yet I can still hear the sound of fast running water. So I think we have a leak, yet another leak. And the leak, if I'm right, is here. In fact, I can see fast flowing water coming right out under here. And really frustratingly, I think that while we've succeeded in diverting the water and blocking the main dam, somehow the water is coming out underneath. It's getting through under here. So I don't know quite what that means. I'm going to have to talk to Mike and see whether we think we can do anything. But you know, I suspect there's a hole running right under the bank, which is where the water's coming out. So quite frustrating. The moment we've blocked that, I think this whole thing will start to fill, and then, you know, obviously we've got quite a lot of mess with all the timber that we've chopped up, but that will all vanish. But as is a tradition at Mapperton, we've still got to plug another leak. I can see water right here. It's right there. So sort of tracing that back, and also look at this ground here. It's sort of giving way. Yeah, makes me wonder if there's a leak right here. So maybe I can stick my thumb in the dike and block the leak. So I'm gonna kneel down here. It's cold. Not seeing any. Oh, yeah, you see, I think this might all be beaver dam here. leaky beaver dam, which is fine. You know, we want the dams to leak, but we want to fill the thing up before the beavers come back. So I have a feeling we're going to have to cut out this section and rebuild it if we're going to get the pond to come up again. Because I think, even though there's soil here, actually, you know, things like that, I think the beavers have done it, and this bank is just falling away. So the water is just getting in under there. God, it's cold. Right. Anyway, looks like we've got more work to do. So the chaps have done a great job of diverting the stream. Yesterday it was mostly going that way, and now it's all going through into the pond, even though we've just established that it's coming out through a leak that we think is part of where the beavers built their dam before. I mean, beaver dams are supposed to be leaky, but all the water's going out and we want to retain enough of it. Anyway, the idea here is that when we have a lot of water coming down here, which we will after a storm, the flow will be so high that some of it will divert this way. So it won't overwhelm the pond, and that's why we put sandbags here, because it should divert water here, but it'll also allow some of it to go that way. At the moment, nothing's going that way, it's all going into the pond, which is what we want. But I don't think we can rely on the beavers to repair that leak, so we're going to have to do something about that ourselves.